Can you send Jennyde to see us down to the main office, please? Thank you. My face trembled as I stared at the loud intercom in the corner of the room. Many thoughts came to my head as I left homeroom, making my way to the office. The trip seemed long as I tried to remember what I did wrong. It was Monday, and the long weekend gap wasn't helping my case either. Finally, I stepped into the cold office, the headmaster making eye contact with me as he motioned me to follow him. Every step I took behind him seemed doubtful. Without knowing what was to come next, I took a seat in the chair across from him at his desk. I tried my hardest not to look scared and not to stare at him too much. The look on his face was serious and almost disappointed. Seconds later, my guidance counselor came in with some papers stacked in his hand, along with 2 other students that I immediately recognized. After seeing the 2 girls, I knew what the whole situation was about. Friday, 3 days earlier, me along with 2 other girls were involved in a school fight. I wasn't scared at all though. I got into trouble like this all the time, so the feeling and all the disappointed looks weren't new to me. The only thing that seemed to matter at the moment was my father. I didn't care too much about getting suspended or maybe even expelled. As the teachers were talking, I was dazing off, picturing the look on my father's face. My father, a hard-working man, had high hopes for all his children, and I always seemed to come short of his expectations. I would have made my father proud of me for once if it wasn't for what happened next. A few months later, a young boy in my math class got a new haircut. I made a derogatory comment about his new appearance that sent him running out of the classroom door. I didn't think anything of it until later that night. He posted up a status on Facebook saying how he couldn't live like this anymore and how he was going to commit suicide. Before his unsuccessful attempt, he wrote a list of people that caused him to be emotionally unstable, and to my surprise, I was on his list. The following day at school, I got pulled out of class by the school officer and was brought to the place in school where I spend most of my hours, the principal's office. The boy's parents were there too, along with a few other students who were also in trouble. I was released from school that day and sent straight to the Bearing Center. I stayed there for 2 weeks and then realized that this was not who I wanted to be. From there on, I made a decision to turn from my old ways and start over. I now have an amazing mentor at Simmons College and a very supportive counselor who are helping me grow. Being a part of Girls Leap has also contributed to my growth and had helped me realize who I want to be versus who I was. Participating in reflective activities helped me realize that there's different ways of solving problems and approaching situations. In Girls Leap, I did a reflective activity where I took a conflict and broke it down to be able to visually see the problem in different ways that could minimize the situation. Instead of attacking people's ideas and opinions through violence, I'm learning to use my voice and to talk to others using words. Rather than fighting others, I plan on helping and being supportive instead. I joined the ROTC unit at my school where I practice discipline and learn leadership skills. I don't try and forget the past, but I would love to remember it, to be able to look back and see how I'm growing and how tremendously different I'm becoming. My father, who supports me in everything that I do, and who has always stood by me when no one else seemed to care, is really proud of me. There are other ways for me to defend myself and to get my points across besides fighting. I build strength on acknowledging the fact that everyone else is also worth it, so I want to uplift them rather than bring them down.